One thing here. One thing. Number one, they're celebrating a draw. That's number one. That's what it means to take points away from us. We're going up. Are we going up? Yeah. We're going up? Yeah, let's come on.
That's the objective.
Is it bad if I think the answer is yes?
I totally agree with you.
Yeah, I think yes as well. Got to set the standards high.
I think every club should be aiming to win every game and every competition that they're in from the start of the year. And if that's not your aim, I think you're probably doing it wrong. But I think also it's one of those things where it looks like an overnight success, but a lot of work did go in to the sort of 3 seasons before last year, with Vange and Dennis initially, and both Armin and Chris as well, in terms of laying some foundations over multiple years. It wasn't as if we just sort of woke up one morning and the playing group, perhaps you guys can speak on that, just sort of, evolved. It was quite a few different aspects over quite a few different years.
Yeah, totally agree. It's been built for the last 3 years. I think we've been here for it's our 4th year now at East Kew.
Yep.
And 2nd year in this capacity. And yeah, it definitely started when we joined the club. A bunch of friends coming down to play together, which created what it is today.
Yeah, I joined in the 2nd season, which a fair few more came as well. And then 2024 last year built up a lot more. And then, we realised we pretty much had the foundations to do something pretty good. And yeah, we came 2nd, got promoted. So yeah, I wouldn't say, it wasn't overnight. It was a lot. Few years built up.
The answer to your question is yes. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah, correct. Definitely a surreal feeling after having played, especially in the league, for what was 3 years. Felt like we were never going to get out. It's so tough, especially when the rules and regulations of promotion change each year. One year it's top 1 up, the next year it's 2 or 3. It just makes it more difficult with the uncertainty going in. So you don't know how to prepare going, from an outlook on the season. But yeah, definitely.
I think I'm always probably the stress head of the 3 of us. And I think from my end, my thing is, well, this is we've had 1 year and that's 1 year tick, but we need to have another 3 or 4 years where we get both teams promoted again, and we want to continue to build and grow in that senior space. And then from a juniors sense, as the seniors and are progressing from both the men's and women's perspective, we want the junior program to continue to thrive and continue to grow, so that ultimately we're not going to be here forever, even though we're still quite young and want to do it for many years to come. But you want to set the foundations right for the next generation, similar to how Vange and Dennis did a few years before they left.
It's really it's tough finding coaches. There's a shortage of coaches across the state, and if you go on social media, you'll see so many clubs advertising looking for coaches. Yours thing? And I think your bibs and cones should be in there as well.
Yep.
Awesome. I think the biggest challenge is finding people who can commit to the amount of time that coaching does take. Or finding people that have flexible enough workplaces to be able to come down and coach on a Tuesday, Thursday evening. Because we don't have a coach for our under 7s and under 8s team. So I'm taking one dig session for the under 7s and 8s.
We changed something up in our expressions of interest, which we thought would help this year. Ask any senior players, men or women, if they wanted to be involved in junior coaching, and got a couple from it. But then a lot of has been, they say yes, and then uni comes up with their schedule and it's all impacting on their junior coaching. We get people that are interested and then the hours don't work for them. Like, it's something that every club struggles with at this time of the year. And this year we're struggling. Yeah.
But we are we are
find.
fortunate though that we do have some players in the senior women, senior men's, the 21s and the thirds that have put their hand up to coach our juniors, and we are very appreciative of that because it just shows how much of a community and great club we are.
Yeah.
All right, and we are back with another year of Australia Cup. We'll see what happens and where we end up. It's a pre-recorded video this year, which sucks. So it's a little bit dead in terms of a reaction. But yeah, Australia Cup 2025. We'll see how far we can go. If we can get a new club record, maybe versus an NPL team, an A-League team. See if we can get a fun away day. See what happens.
The Australia Cup is a nationwide knockout competition that brings together all football clubs around the country. Whether you're a professional, semi-professional or amateur team, it doesn't matter. Last year, over 750 clubs joined the competition. This includes everyone from your local clubs to the state leagues, which we currently play in, all the way up to the A-League levels. So technically, we could end up facing a team like Melbourne Victory. Okay, probably not, but hey, we can dream. Now, because we're in Victoria, we compete under the Doherty Cup. Every state and territory has its own federation, and this is our pathway, which means we just play soccer teams around the state. The Doherty Cup is one of the oldest and most prestigious soccer tournaments in Victoria, established over 100 years ago in 1909 and named after its founder, Harry Doherty. The competition often doubles as preliminary or qualification rounds for the Australia Cup, meaning a club's success in the Doherty Cup directly impacts the club's progression. Last year, East Kew got up to round 3. We faced Geelong Rangers up in Geelong and unfortunately lost this one 2-0. Definitely not our best game.
How did you see that?
So now we're curious to see who are we up against this time round. Hopefully we don't have to travel too far.
Number 54.
Number 54 is Greater Dandenong FC.
Number 35.
And they'll be taking on number 35 East Kew FC.
And with that, we've been drawn against Greater Dandenong, just relegated to State 3, so higher league team than us, which will present a good test for the boys in the first round. Also a great opportunity at some redemption. When they were still Richmond, they beat us a few years ago in the third or fourth round of the Cup. I think it was the fourth round, and it was our equal best ever result. So playing against the old Richmond, now Greater Dandenong, let's see if perhaps our fortunes can change and we can redeem what had happened the first time.
So for the first half, I thought we were very dominant. Didn't at one stage feel like we didn't have control of the game. We held possession. We had majority of the shots. Just unlucky that we didn't find the back of the net. So yeah, especially as a defender, I was very confident in how we were as a team. Came out of the change rooms firing. The whole focus was on the first 5 minutes. Let's get to start the game the way we finished. So the sort of, if you would call it a lapse, was unprecedented from my perspective at least. I mean, we still had the ball as well. It was just a minute turnover, which turned into a throw-in and then a long shot, which no one would have predicted as well. And just the way it went into the back of the net, that's very, I think, unlucky.
We were comfortably the better team on the day, but ultimately if you don't put the ball in the back of the net, and we had chances, Julian in particular had a couple of opportunities, but we weren't able to make the most of it. So ultimately if you don't put the ball in the back of the net, you can't win.
Show that footage of him where he misses that
One-on-one. Yep.
Yeah, I haven't heard about it from Theo at all.
Yeah.
After that result, it's sort of been a little wake-up call to a few people, you know, to start taking it a bit more seriously now. Season's coming up, you know, this is where it's time to sort of lock in.
I wouldn't look at the game as a negative. Yes, it's a loss. Yes, we didn't take our chances. Yes, we didn't win, but we played good football for the majority of the part, apart from that little patch where we conceded. And I think it really resonates with how we are as a team.
So we recently played in a tournament, the Greek Cup, and we came fourth, which is really good because we were versing NPL and high state leagues, so we're really proud of ourselves.
And I scored a goal!
Yes, you did, and I didn't.
But that's okay. And then they played on a tournament, the senior boys.
And they lost. So who's better?
No, but it's okay. It's like it's pre-season at the moment.
But also, like,
so we're all gonna lock in.
Also, they've had 2 seasons in State League 5 and only got promoted last year. We got promoted.
We're fortunate in the women's space as well to have that continuity. Mark Young, who was the first coach for the women's, that couldn't do it for the full season when Sam obviously came in. Mark's rearranged his work schedule and come back and done it. Declan, a reserves player and a senior player historically, but won the league last year and has made that shift now from playing to management. 2 of them are really thriving together, bringing excitement, energy and buzz to the women's team as well as intensity. I know he's got a strength and conditioning coach coming down as well through their pre-season to really professionalise that. And ultimately it's about trying to get both teams promoted again. So we're trying to pull out all the stops that we can as a club to bring the best out of our players. From a Resi's perspective, I think it's an exciting time. It's a new generation, that's for sure. A lot of boys that played under 21s last year have taken the step up, and a lot of the boys that win the Resis last year had the ultimate success and have sort of called it a day, ending it on a high, which can't blame them for. So it's definitely a new wave that's coming through, which is exciting for the club in the future. So obviously we had the promotion last year. We made that mid-season switch from Chris and Ahmed to Jack. Jack did a brilliant job. I think we had a 6-game win streak. We were our last 7 games undefeated on the season to get us promoted. And it goes without saying that effort and leadership on his behalf deserved to be rewarded. Ultimately that led to us reappointing Jack for season 2025.
So, as I said in the message, we're getting really close now, boys. There's about 4 or 5 weeks till the season starts. I think everyone needs to start thinking about that as well and training the way we want to play.
He's brought on board a couple of assistants, being Fernando and Sandro. They played together in the NSL. They're well connected with one another in terms of having a congruent vision for the club and the team and how we need to set up and operate, which is really fantastic.
All right, back here, we start again.
And I think it's important to have a comprehensive coaching staff.
And draw this guy in. There's no point timing. There's no point passing the ball when he's here. I'll be there too quickly, you know what I mean? Otherwise, you've got no room.
With the new season fast approaching, now's the perfect time for a quick refresher. The Victorian State League is made up of 5 divisions. State 1 being at the top with State 5 at the bottom. Each division is separated by zones. State 1, 2 and 3 are separated by 2 zones, being Northwest and Southeast, with State 4 and 5 being split into 4, North, South, East and West. Promotion last year saw the champions and runner-up of each division getting promoted to a high division. So for example, the State 5 champion and runner-up got promoted to State 4. Likewise, the bottom 2 teams on the ladder were relegated down a division. For the 2026 season onwards, things are about to change for both State League men and women's competitions. The State League division format will now incorporate 7 divisions, each made up of 2 zones, being Northwest and Southeast. This, of course, is all subject to change, according to Football Victoria's competition regulations.
Last year it was just hard just to try and scrape in that top 2. Now this year we're going to have to make sure it's top 6 or else we're relegated again.
Now every single point matters. Every game matters.
Essentially, the bottom 2 teams in our league will get a double relegation. Then you've got from 10th through to 6th will get relegated. 6th to 2nd will hold their place in State 4, and then the top 1, the winner of the league, will get a promotion. The stakes have really been amped up this year. It's almost like you're playing 2 or 3 seasons in the one season. So I think from a committee perspective for myself, I think it ramps up the need to get decisions right off the field and have the best preparation possible. A scope for leniency when it comes to the women's side of things, and technically second place wasn't getting promoted this year, but often there's quite a few team changes in women's football, which allows for generally an extra promotion spot. So our sort of hunch is that if the women can win the league, there's a very solid chance that they in turn will get promoted to a State 3.
It's not like, you know, we're battling 11th or 12th for relegation. We're battling to finish top 6 or else we're relegated. Every game means something because, you know, drawing a game where we should have won is going to mean a whole lot more compared to last year and the previous years.
If we don't make top 6, I think it'd be a catastrophe for the club.